Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton. Along with me, as always, is the crusher of kilometers, Bethany McChesney. All right, so I waited all week to ask you about your run because I probably was aware you were doing it beforehand, but had totally forgotten about it.
Well, there were a lot of times I had forgotten about it too. It was one of those things that I said yes to months back, and it was on the calendar, but I'd kind of forget about it because it was something that was for fun, and it was a group of girls that they needed another runner. And yeah, so I really haven't talked about it too much, and it's not like I changed my training or anything for it. Um, yeah, so I mean, it wasn't really like a race on the calendar that was a big deal in that sense, but um, yeah, it was a really cool experience though. So it's called the Riot Relays. I think it's the third year that they've done it now. It's based out of Toronto. Um, I don't know that much about it because again, I don't even know if I knew the name of the race until a couple of days before. I was just asked to do this relay thing. And the reason that I said yes was I had done a Ragnar relay, which was like a 350-kilometer maybe 10 years ago, and it was one of my favorite race experiences ever. So I was like, yeah, these things are kind of cool, just the way you like bond with a group of people and the whole like van transport to the next transition zones, and it's kind of cool. So this one was from downtown Toronto. So we started like by the lake in a marina, and then we just headed straight north to Collingwood, and we finished in the village at the base of the mountain. So it was 140 kilometers.
Was it all road, straight road, or was it trails?
There were a couple little trail sections. I didn't get on any of the trail sections. There was one trail section, and the other thing was is the race started at 10 p.m. So it was primarily through the night. It took us 13 hours, so we finished at 11 a.m. the next day. We had seven girls. You could have had up to eight people in a team, I think. And on average, so the other interesting thing about this one, which was different than the other one that I had done, was so they had suggested transition zones were about every 10K. But we had kind of decided to break it up closer to 5K intervals, which is just a little bit more mentally manageable. And we're always going to double up people. And so the 5K made more sense, except we couldn't do it for the first one and the last one, which had to be the 9K suggested interval, and that person had to be run along. So I did both of those ones. But then yeah, we had a primary runner for each of the segments and then a support. So the support person, we did bring a bike, so the person could bike. Most of us still ran, except for a couple of the girls that don't really run that much volume. Um, and so some of our transition zones weren't at like the big transition zones. So obviously if you've driven to Collingwood, you know it's pretty much back roads the
Hmm.
whole time. So you were kind of running on these country roads through the middle of the night there's really no light. And there were some trail sections in the middle of the night that were super sketchy, which is why we said that no one was going to end up running alone. But it was really dark. And of course, it rained all night. So I am now 4 for 4 for this year's races for rain, which made it a lot worse too. Um, and so if you are going to do this race, the biggest thing that you need to be mentally prepared for is there's not a single bathroom. There's no porta potties in the transition zones. There's no bathroom situations for 140 kilometers. So you kind of have to be comfortable using nature to go to the bathroom. Um, then it just is what it is. So
Did you br
even when we were in Toronto, pardon?
did you bring a roll?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Exactly.
We were prepared. We had rolls. Yeah. We had wipes, we had hand sanitizer. We're like a group of moms, like that's stuff that's in our cars. And but yeah, we were prepared. But yeah, even the transition zones when we were in the city were kind of still on the side of the road. So yeah, there was some pretty hilarious bathroom situations, which I mean, if you've ever done ultras anyways, like the amount that bathroom situations are just a part of it is kind of hilarious. So that would be my biggest complaint was, and again, we were fine, but there is not a single bathroom until I used a proper bathroom at a Starbucks right before my last 9K to finish the race.
That must have been glorious.
And that was it. It was so glorious.
So what would you say? How far in total was it? 130K?
It was 138K.
138K. And you divide like every
Yeah.
5K between seven of you.
Yeah, so it was not really split evenly entirely. Like I ended up running about 42, but and not all again on my own. Like I was supporting other people at different times. Um, but yeah, for me though, half of that was solo because I did the first and the last. But on like if you were just gonna relay it, you'd end up running obviously more like 20K each. But yeah, it honestly, those kind of things, they're just we had two vans and um I would have brought more clothes to change into also. I was coming back from OFSA that day. So I drove my son to St. Catharines to OFSA and then I got back and I had 20 minutes and then I jumped in the car, went to my friends and then we drove to Toronto. So I kind of threw some things in a bag. So I was a little bit unprepared when it came to the amount of clothes that I had. So I was kind of dirtbagging it a little bit.
That sounds
But I,
pretty that sounds pretty wild, but I'm just thinking about like logistically. I'm actually thinking you were talking about the lonely kind of back roads north of the city. I'm more thinking about running out of the city and just like what path you would have taken from basically Lakeshore out. Yeah, I was saying
coming out of the city.
what path you would have taken from Lakeshore out.
So we turned up Parkside, which becomes what is it, Keel, and then Weston. It was basically like there was hardly ever a turn.
Mm.
Mhm.
And you just ran straight. You probably could have,
It
well,
was
if you had done that to Newmarket, you could have just ran straight up Yonge Street the whole way.
Yeah, I mean I think that one's a little bit busier
Yeah,
than the
yeah, I know
ones
what
that
you mean.
we took though.
That's odd.
But
I'd
yeah.
never heard of this thing. I'd never seen it, and then all of a sudden I just started seeing your stories, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like that's a long haul in the middle of the night, and just was it actually a race or was it just like a challenge?
So they said many times in the pre-speech, this is not a race. It's a community event. However, the top few teams were flying. So there is a course record, and the course record is 7.5 hours. So there was a team that ran 7 hours and 58 minutes, which we did the math on that 17 kilometers per hour. So which is averaging about a 325. And they were cooking it. Like, so it was five guys. And yeah, they were just absolutely flying. And there were maybe two or three other teams that they were definitely racing. But I mean, I kind of appreciate that too, though, because these things are also really fun when you are in a race like that. Because I mean, that's how it was when we did Ragnar, and I mean, it just made it so intense. But we had no standings or anything like that throughout. We had a relay bracelet that we had to hand off, and at the finish line, we had to give it to the organizer, and there was a tracking device on our team leader. So they would have known if you all of a sudden everyone just drove in their cars, 20K or whatever. But there wasn't any sort of live results
Mhm.
or anything like that. Like we figured because all they did basically was when you finished, you took a picture of your team and then it got posted to the group chat. So that was basically how they did the results. So we knew we were the second female team, but I mean, there's nothing official.
Well, that's cool though. Sounds like a lot of fun, sort of. But I'm with you with the whole racing. I mean, anytime you're doing any, if you're racing, it's taking your mind off the gruelingness of it because you're focused on the race.
Yeah, and it's still fun to push yourself. Obviously, I still pushed, especially my first and my last one where I was by myself. And I mean, I still ran a pretty good clip and like really it meant nothing at the end of the day. Like my last 9K, whether I ran it in 42 minutes or an hour and 2 minutes, it would have changed nothing. But there's still a part that likes to push and, see what last bit of energy you can get out of your system. Like, I don't know, see what's still left in the body. And I maybe that's just a certain type of person, but I mean, I still push the last 9K even though it meant absolutely nothing.
Yeah, you gotta.
But to me, that just makes it more interesting.
Well, and the sooner you're done, the sooner you're done.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have felt a lot better if I ran it a little bit slower, but
So, well, you did that. I did a
ah,
shit
well.
ton. When you did that, I did a shit ton of HTX testing with a bunch of guinea pigs. And thank you to all the
Mhm.
guinea pigs who filled in. I think we did about, I think it was 9 or 10 different guinea
Mhm.
pigs. And it was fun. It was a good time. A
Mhm.
lot of sore people. Thank you for loaning me some of yours. Um, but
Yeah.
they did really well. It was a lot of fun. It was a good time. They gave me a lot of information, a lot of data. I think we're almost there. So
Yeah.
it'll be a lot of fun to finally reveal and finally have a full-on event. And but
Mhm.
it was not easy, and a lot of them were very sore. So
Yeah.
I think we're doing well. I look forward to it. I got a couple more I want to try myself just to make sure, and then, like I said, hopefully we can get an event in this year. Um, all right. First thing, I saw something online. I wanted to ask you about it. I haven't asked you about this yet. It's not very controversial, but Hyrox has like a 100. They have a Red Bull unbroken patch if you do 100 unbroken wall balls, right?
Yeah.
How would you define unbroken?
Hmm. Well, I think any break in movement
Any
because
break in movement?
yeah, because it can't be if you set the wall ball down because I've stood there with the ball like this and I would consider that a break.
So there was a girl, she didn't get the patch. She took 1 3 second break like that, and they didn't give her the patch. And I was a little surprised because
Oh,
I
I thought they would have. I thought that's what the controversy would have been.
no, and that's the thing. I was kind of surprised because I'm like, it's a fucking patch. It's not it's not a big deal. It's not like, it affects anybody else or it's a race entry or a world's qual or anything like that. It's a novelty patch. And I thought they would have gave it to her for that.
Yeah,
But
but you mean a lot to people.
what's that?
You know these things mean a lot to some people.
Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose so. Well, I think if I was the judge, I'd have given it to her. Because when we were judging too, they told us if somebody goes unbroken, you give them this white flag and they run across and they'll get a patch. I didn't have anyone come anywhere near it when I was doing it, but yeah, I think I'd have gave her the flag and let her go with it for like a 3 second break while still holding the ball. It was like literally one of these catch it, breathe, and go. And I was like, yeah, I'd have gave it to her.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I probably would have too. But I mean, not if they like stopped and like hugged the ball or like,
No, no, it was a quick breath. It was a quick breath. Like I said, 3 seconds max. Like that
yeah.
catch, go. And I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's close enough in my book for a patch.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty strict.
Anyway, it's a surprising amount of controversy in this little post of people going both ways, and people, like you said, they're very, 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 they care. They care about this patch.
Passionate about the patch.
I guess so. Oh, anyway, it was something I was worried about. And oh yeah, by the way, I needed to apologize to everybody. And part of the reason I didn't do this, so last week for the thumbnail, we had a woman from Denver, doing ram burpees with one leg, with her prosthetic leg sitting beside her. And Rye actually saw her doing these burpees when she was there. I did not. Well, meant to mention her last week when we used the thumbnail, and I did not look at my notes, and I forgot to mention. So sorry. And I still have not been able to find out who this is because I'm trying to find out who it is so we could talk to them. So if anybody knows her or sees her or whatever. But she did great. She just like how long did she take the leg off? Yeah, it was like a minute to take the leg off.
She's got like 3 minutes to put it back on.
Yeah, and then did the burpees and took 3 minutes to put the leg back on.
You didn't do that at every station.
No, just did the burpees.
Oh, okay.
Well, that is true. We did not see her at the other station, so we're not sure. But I think we did it just the burpees. But the funny part is, she was like right there, and she could have just hopped across the line before she put the leg back on. But she took like three
You just
minutes to put
did
it back
like,
on before she crossed the line.
uh,
Yeah, yeah, I don't.
mm.
Yeah, everything with her. She had no help from anybody. She just did her thing. So I don't know if it was that she wanted a picture to look a certain way or whatever, but clearly the time was not the concern.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of think about the visual of her like running across the line carrying her leg.
I personally would have wanted that one hopping across, holding the leg in the air. I think that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I understand why she put the leg on too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Maybe she needed it to jump and hit the bell. I don't know. This is the big bell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do that. All right. We're gonna try to go quick today because I'm low on power for some reason. Anyway, Hyrox New York was last weekend, this weekend, the whole shit and shebang. So there was probably two things
Yeah.
that really, really rang out for people. We'll start with one, and we've had a lot of discussion about this already between you and I online. Well, I can't remember which day. One of the days was canceled due to weather, and I think from all 90% of the reports, appropriately so, that they canceled it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't I
but
didn't
there was
hear
lightning.
yeah, I didn't hear too many people saying, "Oh, they should have still." There was the odd one, but most people were saying, "Yeah, they should have canceled it. Was the right move to do."
Yeah.
And then it becomes, what do they do? And it turns out, so what they have done is they've offered basically a free code to those who were affected and early
Mm.
access to a race so that they could, make sure they could get it for like a year. They have their choice of whatever race to get early access to, including Dallas, which is coming up very soon. So the question is pretty much, is that enough? Is it too much? All that. I the only thing that gets me, and I've read their logic to it, and it is a valid point, and you made your point about it too, but is the flex pass part. The people who paid for the flex pass are not getting that flex pass included in their next race. They have to pay for that extra again if they want it. The logic Hyrox uses is that, well, the time had already passed when you could have used that flex pass. So we're not going to put it towards your next one. And I get that. I just think in a show of good faith, that would have been appropriate to give to them because, especially because they are now to compensate for the basically the being put out with the whole, like, people lost hotels and travel and all that stuff, and some people lost a lot of money because of it. Not Hyrox's fault completely, but I just think it would have been a show of good faith. Along for personally, again with me, maybe a discount on some swag or something like that. Just because it didn't affect a lot of people. right? So we're not talking where they have to refund 10,000 people or anything like that. It was like one night of people because they didn't shut it
Mhm.
down till like 5:30 p.m. So pretty much whoever was going to run that
Uh,
day after 5:30 p.m. But you're
mhm.
kind of the other side. Screw everybody.
I think mean, we're kind of agreeing that like giving them their ticket back makes sense. I think they're doing the right thing. But I mean, I don't think that they need to get swag or anything like that's not going to make up for a plane ticket in any way to get like a $20 t-shirt or whatever. But I think the Flex Pass it's not necessary because I think the Flex Pass is essentially like paying for insurance for
Mhm.
something. And then, I mean, if you don't use your insurance, it's not like you're like, well, give me my insurance money back. Like, I think it's kind of just it's a cost that kind of goes away whether you use it or you don't. Some people would have used it, but if they didn't use it up to that point, then they weren't going to use it for New York. So it is just gone. So I don't think that it's necessary for them to give them that Flex Pass money back. If they choose to purchase their race insurance for their next race, then again, that is up to them because it was their choice ultimately. It's not it's not mandatory that they buy the Flex Pass. So it's a like an optional add-on. So I don't think that they have to necessarily honor people with giving them also the Flex Pass back. So it's like you can when you sign up for a world major, one of the major marathons, which obviously marathons are outside, you can buy race insurance. And I mean, that's gone if the race gets canceled, but you could get your money back for that race, but some people choose not to use it. And I mean, there's been major marathons that have been canceled due to weather. Like New York's been, or not New York, Chicago's been canceled due to heat. Um, because it's early October. We had the Manitoba Marathon get canceled one year for heat too, and it was like 44 degrees, and it was a Canadian Championship weekend. And usually the standard is we'll honor you with your race registration, but like whatever else you purchased above and beyond that, that was your choice. That's kind of gone.
Anyway,
I think New York is one of the few ones that's outdoors, so I think that is kind of the risk that you're taking.
yeah, and I guess that comes down to the question too is would you sign up for an outdoor one? Because I mean, I've already stated and proven that I will not, just because I did not enjoy my experience at the outdoor Hyrox. And I think it's a much better event inside. But like, would you? Hyrox seems to love these outdoor events
I mean,
because
optically,
the
Hyrox
visual.
loves optics.
Yeah, yeah.
The one that they did recently, was it in Germany where it was at the airport? I mean, that one also crazy heat. There were situations with the heat. Um, but I mean, it looks pretty darn cool.
And that was the same one last year who had like storming rain through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like, there were people like hiding under the wings of planes waiting for some rain to pass before they continued to run. It was so bad. So, but yeah, I
Yeah,
would
I
just,
mean, I think it's kind of cool.
I will say this to the people like it is buyer beware. If your event's going to be outside, be prepared. If you're sinking that much money into it, this can happen, which is why I would advise if you're doing one High Rocks and it's a big deal, don't do an outside one.
Yeah, I mean, if you're someone who's, budgeting down to the dollar and you can go to one of two races, it's probably a bigger gamble than you might want to take with your money
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
going to New York.
Besides, parking's expensive and
Mhm.
there's a lot of garbage. I'm not a big fan of NYC. It was horrible. Parking was like $80 for an afternoon. And I had to
Oh,
walk.
I believe it. I mean, I've been to Manhattan and it's an interesting city, but some people love it. So,
Yeah, well, kudos to them. I don't love it, but whatever. But the other thing that comes up too, so they had spread out the pro wave over two different weekends. And the two different weekends
yes.
got very different weather patterns.
Mm.
Should they do that, or should they just load up all the pros in one weekend? Like say, this is the day the pros race. This is the day the age group race, like that. Because like this thing went on for 10 days.
They Yeah, I mean, they probably should have, but I also understand the appeal of having pros both weekends because it does give people options. But yeah, in this situation, we had Morgan and Kat Fassbender on the women's side race the first weekend, when it was quite hot, from my understanding. And then the next weekend, Rachel Wade came in and she ran about 4 minutes faster than they did. Now, Rachel's on a streak right now, and her times have been very consistent, basically 1 hour 00 and change. And she actually ran a PB in New York, which is interesting
Yeah.
considering it's not a race people usually run
Yeah.
a PB. So I think the thing that makes this hard is that everyone right now is chasing points. So the points is what they were really looking for with the winner. So Morgan and Kat Fassbender, who were the first and second athletes of the first weekend, had to wait till the second week was over to even know what points that they got. And then they did get bumped down. So I think that's so, and then we're dealing with an outdoor race. So, I mean, Rachel had probably better temperatures, I guess, for performing well. But would she have won if they were head to head? Maybe. She has been performing well, so it is tough to say. But I think in that point situation, especially because the points are also based on a percentage away from the leader, they probably should be a head to head situation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's actually I've never thought about that part because yes, your points after second place are all the percentage of winner, and that would definitely matter as you go.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, because I mean, someone like Kat, maybe she was chasing Morgan, kind of feeling like, oh, I'm chasing Morgan. This is the leader, or whatever, whatever the case may be. I'm right there, and it's one of those things where it's easy to say, just go as
Yeah,
fast
and
as
as
you
long as
can.
it's close enough to her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's thinking, okay, I'm 100 points. I'm not worried about percentage, da 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 da. But it's easy to say, yeah, just run as fast as you can all the time because it's a heat race, and we've said that ourselves before, but it is puts a different spin on it. Um, I'm of the hey, just put all the pros together, and I don't get it. What the hell was the point of the pro card when wasn't the pro card supposed to put all the elite 15 athletes in one wave, or all the pros into the one wave instead of putting everybody in these different waves? Like Marcus Wallace and Dawson Miller ran out of the second wave of the pro men in the second weekend. And they're both they're elite
So
15
there was
double guys.
another heat.
Yeah, there was another heat before them. And it's like, why? I remember them when they
I
brought the
don't understand why they put people up like that.
yeah, like when they brought the pro card out, they were saying, well, this is what's going to stop that. We're now going to have everybody because we know they have the pro card, so all be in the same wave. It's like, what the hell happened to that?
Do you not feel like they do this to Marcus Wallace all the time?
That's quite possible. Maybe he puts it that way because he ended up winning like that day. Maybe maybe that's his strategy.
Mhm.
He doesn't like to let them see him coming. Yeah, it does seem to happen to a lot, but it's just it seems like the easiest fix, and they've not been able to figure that one out. I don't know why, even after promising that that was how it was going to be. One other thing came up that happened there, and this was happened. Our buddy Jay Muscart, got quite a bit of grief online for running in the open men's doubles. And people were saying, well, you've run Elite 15, you shouldn't be allowed to run the open. So we're back to the like, do we gatekeep the open wave? Or I don't, I don't even remember what my old opinion was. But I will say that over the evolution of the sport as it's come to here, I am now at the point where I believe it's a different race and it is called open, which means it's open to anybody. Lauren Weeks is the world record holder for it. And previous
And Ronco on the
and
men's side.
and Ronkovic is the men's side open record holder. It is what it is. There is no. It's not like how do I put it? It's not like a scaled division like in CrossFit where there's
Right.
your one division and then your scaled division. It's not the same. It's just a different race. And
Hmm.
and I said, I don't know, I might have had a different opinion before, but that's where I've evolved to on that. I just think it's a different race and it is what it is. And could you put a rule in place saying if you run Elite 15, then you can't run this? Sure. Would I be upset about that? Probably not. But that rule is not there now. And as such, if an Elite 15 athlete runs open and beats you for a podium, well, sorry about your luck. You know?
But I mean, so, in a situation like with Jay Muscart, he's run Elite 15 doubles.
Yes.
So if you switch his doubles partner, he's no longer Elite 15.
And I can assure you the partner he ran in New York was not his Elite 15 doubles partner.
Well, there you go. So now,
It's no longer an Elite 15 team because that's a team.
yeah. And now too where we have these regional Elite 15s and they get all the same gear and stuff. Like there's a lot of people that you could label Elite 15.
Hmm.
And now so all of those people and all the doubles athletes, like now they can no longer race open.
Yeah.
Doesn't really make any sense.
And,
But I'm with you though. I think it's just a different pace.
yeah. And I mean, you think, like you said, with the teams, it makes it
It's
even more so because, like, for example, Kevin Gregory and Connor Bell are an elite DECA team, right? Kevin Gregory and me are not an elite DECA team. And that's the same kind of deal, right? So
yeah.
yeah, especially
But you
in the
could sign up if you don't gatekeep it.
yeah. But I'm just, I'm just saying that when you're talking a two-person team and you switch one person, you very much change the dynamic of that team.
Yes.
It's better, yeah. So anyway,
Mhm.
I do believe that Jay did nothing wrong on this one. Was well within his rights to run open with his buddy or whoever he wanted to run with. And the only reason anyone's got a problem with it is because they did well. So
Because they took a podium from someone.
from somebody else that wanted it.
They didn't take it. Yeah.
They want it. Yeah. Now, so here's an interesting question though, and this is a different side of it. If you work for the company, should you be able to compete?
Yes.
Obviously, I think so, but some
I
don't.
mean, why? Do they have an advantage because they work for them?
Some people feel that way. I don't understand it. I don't see it. Quite frankly, it's for me, competing while working for a company, doing work for them has been much more of a hindrance than a help. Um,
Hmm.
like if you ask me going to any race, if I want to work it and compete, no, and I'm concerned about my position competing. I just want to compete. I don't want to work at all because it screws with your day.
Hmm.
You're exhausted. You're mentally tired. You're drained. You don't get a proper warm up. Everything is shit. So if anything, it's a disadvantage. The only advantage in Hyrox is that you can probably get your tickets easier. That's about it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Other than that, did you see anything interesting out of New York that caught your eye?
No, but I've definitely heard in general that it ran a lot more smooth. So I think Hyrox has figured some things out from the feedback that they've had before at New York, and it seemed to be a generally positive experience for people.
I heard mixed reviews on the off-site registration.
Mm.
Some people,
Yeah, it was a, I heard, yeah, it was a long walk to registration.
yeah, some people thought it was absolutely fantastic, that it was easy registration, that it was great, that it was awesome to have that way. Other people, complete opposite. So from what I saw, it was kind of a 50-50 review thing. I don't know. I guess it was just a matter of personal opinion on that one. Um, they did have the shorter lanes for the sleds, which definitely helps the pull. So that was different, although it was more to count. Some people had more penalties,
Yeah.
more lanes to count. But I don't know. Would you ever hit? I mean, I'm not going back. The only way I'd ever go back to New York is to pay me. But would you ever hit New York, especially now? Would you ever sign up for an outdoor race?
I would sign up for an outdoor race, absolutely. I don't know if I would go to New York. Um, I've been to I think if I'm gonna travel to a race, I'm probably gonna try to go somewhere that I haven't been before. Um, I mean, I would go back to Manhattan, but it is a very expensive city in general. So it wouldn't be high on my list, but I think it looks like a really cool race. I don't race Hyrox enough, though, to have a race that I'm likely not going to run a personal best on. Like, I think you kind of give up on that in general when you go to New York. So I don't know. It's part of me had a bit of FOMO this weekend just because like you can kind of drive to New York. It's close-ish. It
That's when
looks
I
really
went.
cool.
I drove.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's not likely, but I would never say never.
What about something like Cancun?
No, I'm not really a big fan of Mexico.
Yeah. What about a cruise? Yeah.
Yeah, oh God.
What was
You're
the
like going,
latest? Now they're pimping. They got was it Les Mills? Is that the Good Life guy? Like he does all the good life, did all the good
yeah,
life.
yeah, the brand that does all of the group training
So now
with Good Life.
they're Hyrox put out a post pimping that they're on the cruise and they're doing all these different activations and workouts
Mhm.
and stuff and just everything in the world to get people on this fucking boat.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
That bad, eh?
I think it must be like the ship is literally sinking. Figure,
Yeah.
figuratively. So I don't know.
Uh,
Um, they're pushing, they're trying. God love them, they're trying. They won't quit. I give them that. Coming
yeah,
up
there you go.
very soon. I think not this weekend, but next I think is Worlds.
Yeah.
And
Uh, it is, yes.
yes, I am ready. I'm excited to watch it. I think next week we'll probably do a little preview. We'll go through who's going, who's what, and we'll be sure to pay attention to the doubles because nobody pays any bloody attention to the doubles except I will give Racebring credit. They did a nice doubles thing this week. But I want to pay a little more attention to the doubles because I think it's going to be better racing anyway.
Oh, I think they'll be paying attention to the doubles for this one. I think it's gonna be super exciting.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll do a bit of a preview on that next week. And other than that, Beth, you good for tonight?
Yes, and if you're having serious Hyrox FOMO on Worlds weekend, you can come and do a PFT at my gym.
There you
And the
go.
PFT, which I invented. Mhm.
I have not seen
But
anyone else
yes,
do it.
thanks. No, exactly. But yeah, thanks so much everyone for listening. And yeah, all the best. Just keep getting out there.
Take care.